G'day, Tiny here from Off Tap Brewing. How you guys doing? Hot day today, blah blah blah. Just walked in the door. This is my first beer at home. I did stop off on the way home and grab a small driving beer, as we call them here, or another one for the road. I had one topic in mind for this video on my way home and while I was at work today, because the question was posed to me at work. And then again, it was posed to me when I stopped off for my driving beer. Now, we shouldn't drink and drive. It was only a small beer and it was very tasty. But yeah, after the question was posed to me, for the second time I decided, yeah, I'm going home to shoot a video on this topic. I pulled up at the front in my ute and checked the mailbox, you know, overdue electricity bill, blah blah blah, and I got a little bag, which will be my second topic, and a very quick topic, because the shout out for this topic goes to the person that knows about it, and that's probably it. I walked inside and I was opening said parcel, and I turned around and I had a look at my third topic, my wild yeast sort of thingy experiment that was thrust upon me. And now, if you guys remember from a few videos back, I had some yeast. I'm going to try and put this down without turning it off. Yeah, I've got to squat down. That's okay. I might combine the third topic and the second topic together. It took a while. But it's here. Yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about, Mr. Wickstead. Anyhow, the third topic was my yeast experiment. Not an experiment, it was just thrust upon me. I have a speed kit, and it's basically a fresh wort kit that I brew and I sell to people, and they take the speed kit home, tip that into a fermenter, add their yeast and ferment, and do whatever they want from there. But I sell my wort, my way, my recipe. People can tweak recipes and say, oh, you know, I'd like a bit of this and that next time, and I can accommodate people like that. That's fine. So, you know, that's going quite well for me. And yeah, I had one of these 25 litre vessels to start fermenting on me, and it just blew up. The other one that I did on the same day, like side by side, red hot liquid into a 25 litre food grade container, side by side sitting outside cooling, and one just started to blow up. It started to ferment. Fermentation happened. Now, the other's fine. I've just put the other one in the fridge 2 days ago with yeast, and it's fermenting out beautifully. But this one started fermenting all on its own, and I do not understand how the yeast actually survived. I had one comment suggesting that maybe the yeast was hiding up under the handle, but you know, in thinking that, and yeast dies at higher temperatures, you still got steam, and that container goes to jelly with all that in there and all the sloshing around and moving. When I put my wort in, I shake it around to sterilise the whole container with the 100-degree liquid. So I truly don't understand how a yeast survived, but they do. It's happened to shops that sell these things. So anyhow, I came home and found this. After decanting them into 5 litre demijohns and tossing the rest in my garden, because beer is a good slug killer, I came home to find this. It had just started going nuts again, like vigorously fermenting. There was liquid all around here. My floor's all sticky. I sort of half-assed cleaned it up. But the video I was going to do this week was for this infection, and this one here had the same sort of infection, but across the whole top of it was like a whole disc of this white stuff. It was completely immersed in white stuff, so no yeast could sort of get into it. It was yeah, like a little layer of crap on there. Now they've gone from smelling really yucky to smelling really cidery, really appley, like green apples. So that's definitely an infection. But I've left them sitting open to the air like this, just out here in this sort of temperature, You can see that's still going. And that one's not yet, so I'll give that a bit of a shake around. Hopefully there's yeast sitting in there somewhere. Get them both going. Maybe for $100 I'll drink one. There you go. For $100 I'll bottle a beer of it and carbonate it and drink it. But yeah, the infection was that floor is really sticky. The infection was very apparent. It overtook the really bad Eastery smell that was in there. Like it was really flowery, really floral. The smell was like really like you pitched your yeast at like 40 degrees. Anyhow, that yeast that must have got in there and survived mustn't have been very alcohol tolerant, from my understanding of wild yeast. So it would have, I think it fermented out about 10 points and then stopped, completely just stopped dead. No more fermentation. So it wasn't an alcohol tolerant yeast. I'll put you back up here without shutting the camera off. It's happened 3 times already. There we go. Cool. Yeah, so it wasn't a very alcohol tolerant yeast. I think what happened the other day when I picked it up to give that jar a smell, there must have been a more alcohol tolerant yeast sitting on the infection. We've got the fan running in here and the doors open when we're home and all that sort of stuff, so you know, it's open to the air, open to the public. The wild public of Eagleby. So obviously more alcohol tolerant strain of yeast, hopefully, because that's just gone nuts, has landed in there and has started fermenting again, but only in one. So yeah, look out. That changed my direction on that video for sure. Okay, back to the second topic. That's a plug, and you'll know. Tell them to speed their shipping up. I've been waiting 4 weeks for this. Okay, I opened an account, by the way, and I've just got to send my number over, and I like the idea. It's great. Back to the first topic, the questions. The 2 questions I had today. Very similar questions. One at the bottle-o and the other with the guy I was working with today. And he asked me, and she asked me, what's a good beer? Well, what is a good beer? I mean, that's like me asking you, what's a good food? And you say, well, being a vegan, I like nuts. Or broccoli's good. Or being a carnivore, I like T-bone steak. Or being lactose intolerant, I like everything that's not milk. Well, people's tastes are different. Everyone tastes things, everyone's perception is different, and you know, that's fine. That's a no-brainer. How do you recommend to somebody what's a good beer? Well, I can't say to you, go and buy this beer because that's nice. Well, that beer's nice for me. It might not be nice for you. You know, so I've been telling this to people for quite a few years now. Basically, when I started brewing, I did this to myself, for myself. I got 2 crates, 2 milk crates. And every time that I went to the store and I bought beer, one milk crate was labelled good and the other one was labelled bad. And every time I went to the store to buy my beer or to do whatever at the bottle-o, I would buy 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 craft beers, all different ones. I would drink them, and I have to buy 2 of each because the wife, she was in the same boat for me, with me. We would drink the beer and put it in the respective crate. And after 6 months, 8 months, or when the crate's full, you then pull all those beers out of the good one and write down on a bit of paper what the beer was. Whether it was a Pilsner, whether it was a lager, whether it was an IPA, whether it was a stout, a porter, so on and so on. And then obviously on the other side of the paper you get your other one, the bad stuff, and you write all the bad ones. Wheat beer, wheat beer, wheat beer, wheat beer, wheat... Oh, sorry, I don't like wheat beers. I can't handle them. Basically everything that ended up in that was wheat beers and pilsners, but not all pilsners. Just 3 or 4 different brands of pilsners. Even though I knew I didn't like pilsner, I still tried other brands, and I still made it. I ended up with some pilsners in the good one and some pilsners in the bad one. So pilsner was a I actually brew a really nice Bohemian pilsner. I don't use a Bohemian yeast. I have used the Bohemian yeast, and it makes it better, but that yeast is a bit expensive for me. So I've used a very clean Saf Ale yeast, and I get a really good result from that. So yeah, I do my own pilsners. But wheat beers, definitely, every wheat beer ended up in there to the point where I just stopped wasting money on them. I knew that I tried imported ones, I tried locally brewed ones, I tried brewing them myself from Kit and Kilo, you know, and none of them were good. So I know where my styles lie. I know what beer I like, but I don't know what beer you like. How do you tell somebody what beer they like? You can't do it. So that's my suggestion for people. If you guys are experienced beer drinkers out there, sorry, I'll repeat that. If you guys are inexperienced beer drinkers out there wondering, oh, what beer would you recommend for me? Well, I don't know you. We've never sat down and spoken about beer. We've never, you know, done anything like that. So I can't recommend a beer. I can recommend that you try every beer out there, and you catalogue in some way. You don't have to use the 2 crate. You can use a notebook, and you can write good and bad and write all the details of each beer on there in the good and bad, and you will see what beer is your favourite style, because after a while you'll gravitate just instinctively to those style beers. You'll see, oh yeah, White Rabbit, oh yeah, oh pale ale, oh okay, oh Stone and Wood, that's a pale ale, that's an IPA, oh I'm after that, you know, and then you'll just gravitate, and then after X amount of time you'll see what you like and what you don't like. So yeah, just a very quick video plug update for the yeasties in the bottle. That one looks like I'm going to have to clean up after it for a while. I don't want to put an airlock on it. I want it to remain completely open to the elements. I want to see what happens. I've been sort of mentally cataloguing the smells that it's been producing, and it started off very disgusting. Very disgusting. Now it's very floral. It's very fruity. Very, very fruity. It's quite pleasant. Like if that was a beer infection and it smelled like that, man, that's like apple cider all the way. I'd love it. Yes. So that's about all I had to say, and I said it pretty quickly for the 3rd video. One take wonder. Work was really crappy. Got to do afternoon shift on Monday. It'll be good. It's like working from the heat of the day into the cool of the night. So a ranger like me, a ginger like me would love that. We don't like the heat or the sun. Well, I don't anyhow. As you saw from my last video, I had a great night talking with Chubby on the telling bone. That was quite fun. Talked with him till it was pitch black over there. I couldn't see him anymore. Yeah, so we caught up a bit. What else? Brewing this weekend. I might if I've got no prior commitments on Friday, I'm going to throw my Blue Dog IPA on, do a 50 litre batch of that, and put that on to ferment straight away, because I've done that recipe 3 times, and 4 times, and the last time I changed it and settled on what it was. This time I'm only going to swap out some pale ale malt for some Golden Promise. Yes, Chubby, it's Golden Promise. You know what I'm talking about. But just maybe a kilo, just to give it that little twang. I've got the hops in it like that. They're schmicky. I will not be changing the hop additions in that beer at all, ever. So yeah, I'm going to throw 50 litres of that at my fermentation fridges. What else? Saturday, I'm brewing again. I was hoping to get a pallet this week of 20 litre vessels. 20 litre clearing, I call them clearing cubes, food grade containers. I'll get one. This is the wife's citrus smash. So that's 25 litres, and I get these for free and have to clean them. I may have mentioned it in other videos. This is my no chill fermentation. I've had some questions about it. Maybe we should go for a walk, get another beer, and I can answer those questions. DMS, dimethyl sulfide, sulfide or sulfate? Sulfide, dimethyl sulfide, because sulfate's a sulfide, yeah. Dimethyl sulfide, DMS. As Paul Wickstead in his last video was talking about amino acids, unconverted, blah blah blah, creating corn flavours and smells and like boiling vegetable sort of matter. I've never ever had it. The only problem I've had with this method of the way I brew, and as I've mentioned, I've got a wort chiller. I've got a 1,000 litre water tank with a pond pump in it that I pump through it, so I don't use any town water. I don't water I pay for. I just recircle the water. And I always no chill, because that's what I'm selling. No chill. People can come and taste the beer that I do, get the information on how I brewed it, taste the beer with a good representation of what they're buying. As long as they can ferment, as long as they know their crap, as long as they know their shit about fermentation and that sort of stuff. You know, from where it goes, where they take it home and they put it in the hot side of their house and ferment a lager yeast in 28 degrees, well, they come back and say, well, it tastes like shit. Well, dude, get a grip. Watch some people's YouTube videos, man. You guys out there are giving out some great information. Keep it coming. But this is my method, and it works. And it works very well for a lot of people here in Australia. To get around DMS, I do a 90-minute boil. I've done 60-minute boils, and I started off doing 60-minute boils into these bad boys, and I still have never had a problem with DMS. But I've noticed that after doing the 90-minute boil, just looked at the time, and it's like, no, 20 minutes. You can waffle, can't you? Yeah. I'll finish this one in 20 minutes. After doing the 90-minute boils, I noticed a very large ring around the top of my boiler, and it's very crusty, very hard, matter, like yeah, just yucky, sort of basically what you get around the top of your fermenter after the krausen's dissipated. That is also DMS as well, passed off, scrubbed out through CO2 scrubbing via your yeast. And sticks to the side of your fermenter, which is what you want. So cleaning that is a good thing. Like when you see your fermenter and you think, oh, I've got to clean this stuff out again and it's really hard, be happy that you have to clean that out, because your yeast has done a very vigorous job and it's pushed all that matter to the outside and stuck it on the walls of your fermenter. Does the same in my brew kettle. It boils off and I lose a lot of that. I get a big thick ring of it like that. It's massive and it's very chunky and it's very hard to clean off. I've got to get my gurney out there, my high pressure hose, and I've got to clean it, and it takes a while to clean. But I'm happy to clean it because that is not in my beer. If any of you guys out there have any other questions about no chill brewing, I know there's people out there that are going to try it and see if it works. Harry Brew, this is a good way to store your beer when you don't have fermentators or you don't have anything. You can leave these up to 2 years. Like they sell them in Australia with a 2-year best before date on them. I think, pretty sure 2-year best before date. So that's like a standard thing. I've had mine sitting. This has been sitting for a couple of months now. It will taste as fresh. There's been no way of getting to it. So this is another way you can store your beer in your little containers. when you put the hot liquid in there, you fill it up, you put the lid on, it blows up, and then shrinks back with your 4%. You lose your 4% volume that you'll lose with your cool shrinkage. There's another topic. Ask me about that. Yeah. So if you have any questions about this sort of method of storing your wort, we've just gone over 20 minutes, but yeah. If you have any other questions about storing your wort this way, please shoot me a message, a private message. We can Skype, talk about it, ask questions, do all that sort of stuff. That's no trouble at all. Actually, I'd like that, meet you guys personally. It's a very good method of doing what I do. It's a very sellable, and I can reproduce recipes over and over and over like this, confidently. Okay, yeah, I suppose that's it. 3 topics. It's only going to be a 5-minute video tops. Sorry about this, you guys. I'll end it now. Remember, beer makes you smarter.